My name is Cookie.
And I'm Carlos.
Well, we're coming to you today because we've had a few clients inquire about cruising. So we decided to put together 10 tips on cruising. And tip number one is arrive to the port early.
Yes, arriving to the port early has a lot of benefits for you. One, lines could be long. There are customs that you have to go through, um, luggage carrying and things of that nature. So it's best that you arrive early so that you can miss the hustle and bustle of trying to go through all of those customs lines, um, ID checks, and things of that nature. Another reason that you might want to arrive early is if you're going to be there a day early, gives you an opportunity to kind of get the sights and lay around about that city that you're going to. Sometimes you might not have ever been to that city before. It gives you a chance to kind of sightseeing that over on those trips too as well before you take your cruise.
Yes, and tip number two is try to log on to the cruise portal when you go into when you get onto the ship. And also, there's a little pamphlet that they would have in your room. So if you're there early, you'll have an opportunity to pull that information up.
A lot of reasons why you want to pull up on the portal and get all the information early. There's a lot of activities to have fun with during that time of the cruise. So you want to know where to go, where the exits and entrances are, along with the ship captain giving you instructions on that while you're aboard the ships as well. But also, it just gives you a little bit of the layout of the land of that boat and where you feel a little bit comfortable about where you're going, what your plans might be for the first day that you're arriving, and then probably within the week that you're going to be doing that cruise.
Yes, and also just to add to that, sometimes it is a little there's discounts. Like if you want to like enroll in some of your excursions, it's a little bit more costly once the ship is in on sea. So you may want to get with your travel agent to try to purchase some of those excursions in advance. Tip number three is drink packages. Now, I suggest to get a drink package before you go. That's if you like alcoholic beverages, or for your kids, on some of the ships, they only have like tea or punch, and some people like Coke products or Pepsi products. And so if your kids are like going out trying to get those drinks outside of the cafeteria, then sometimes that may be a fee. So if you get that little, pay that minimum fee, then they can drink, they'll have a souvenir cup and enjoy their stay.
Drink packages are pretty beneficial from our vantage point. Most people consider not having it because they feel like they're not going to get the full service of that drink package. Typically, what we found out is that by purchasing those drink packages in advance, they allow you to have a number of drinks within a 24-hour period. Now, typically, if one party likes to drink and the other one doesn't, as much as the other, you have an opportunity to use that jointly to where you can get the full benefit of that drink package, along with not having to put out your credit card or cash via each time you purchase a drink. So it gives you a little bit of convenience from that standpoint, along with just having that security of just getting those drinks, and you don't have to use it. But at the same time, I guarantee you, once you're on that cruise and you want to enjoy yourself, you'll get the full benefit of those packages. You won't waste it. I guarantee you that.
No, you will not.
But at the same time, like I said again, if it's a question about how many drinks you have and you might not drink that many, hey, you can share it with your wife, share it with a friend,
Yes.
or whatever. So you're not going to not be able to use those packages. And I think at the same time, you get everything that you want out of that packaging with the convenience of it as well.
Yes. And also, if you decide not to select the drink package, what you can do is look for the drink of the day. Now, I love them. They are so cute. They're in like some of the little cups that light up and coconuts. I think that's really kind of like what persuaded me to drink because they were so pretty and I love pretty things. So that's another option for you. Tip number 4 is dining. There's several options to dining. You actually can go into the buffet or you can go into what they call like the formal dining. Now, the formal dining, you can use it for lunch and breakfast as well. And then they also have the alternate restaurants as well.
Using all the vantage points of all the dining areas is a plus for you. That's what you go on a cruise for. You want to take advantage of everything that you have available for you. The buffets that they have are great, guaranteed. You load up on those buffets when you want to.
Yes.
But at the same time, when you want a little bit of different atmosphere, you want a little bit of a little elegance in it along with that, but you're still getting the lunch, breakfast, and dinner. Use those things because variety is what you want in a cruise as well. It gives you an opportunity to try something different. It gives you a little bit better presentation, and it also just gives you an opportunity to just take the full benefit.
Exactly. And number 5 is bring cash. I mean, I think it's really good because like when we're abroad, we do not like to use our credit cards. But we had one particular incident that we were happy that we had access to our cash.
Again, using cash when you're going abroad on these excursions or the beach and things of that nature, having that cash available, you're going to be able to buy trinkets and toys and things of that nature, souvenirs as well. Along with that, we went through an incident which required us to have cash available for us. My wife was on a ski boat, jet ski, excuse me, and she had an accident. So with that, even though the ships have hospitals and they have X-ray machines and things of that nature, hers required that we go for outward into the inland to get some other additional treatment. So by having to do that, most countries deal specifically with Americans with cash only.
Yes.
Or debit cards. So it was to our best interest to have that, and we were luckily fortunate enough to have that, to where when that arose, we were able to pay for it at that time.
Yes.
And be able to get back on the boat and be safe. And if you don't, and you don't have any cash available or debit card, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult to take care of the things that you need when you're out in inland. But again, that's just for precautionary measures and just for your safekeeping, just because you never know what's going to happen on those things like that.
Yes. So we pray nothing happens, but if it does, just be prepared. And number 6, optional essentials. And what I mean by that is if you're a person that's like a techie and you want to have like extra plugs, there's only like a few plugs there, so you can bring like an additional electrical cord, or you can also, like if you like for your hair or whatever. So now, as you can tell, we're like natural, so we don't need that. So we do
Natural
not need
all the way.
Yes. And also, I was with my girlfriends and we were, vacationing. We were on a cruise. And, women, we have a lot of stuff. Some men have a lot of stuff. I won't say their names, but sometimes they have like an extra bag just for their shoes. But, those, the shoe hanging over the door hangers, the plastic ones where you can roll it up, put it in your bag. You can actually store it on the door in the cruise ship. And then that way you can like stay organized. You can have like your cleaning supplies, your hygiene, and also your shoes. You don't have to keep going into your luggage because there's really not a lot of storage space. So that just kind of helps you out. So, and also, let's see, we have number 7, wear your cruise ID at all times.
It's important. One of the things you're going to use your cruise ID for, 1, we already talked about drinks. 2, when you're going abroad to the beach or wherever out in the inlands, before you leave, the ship is always going to look for your ID. They're going to ask for your ID. When you come back on, they're going to be asking for your ID as well. So that's a precautionary tale because, one, they want to make sure that everybody that left the cruise comes back on the cruise is the same person.
Yes.
So that's just a precautionary tale. And like you said again, you don't want to be on the beach, somebody has your ID and they come back on and you got there swimming with the fishes trying to get back on the boat. So hey,
no, you don't want that to happen.
so you want to make sure you have your ID at all times, and it is, like I said again, they're used for ID, they're used for sales because you have retail stores there as well.
Yes.
So they make sure they do those, so you tabulate with that. So you always, for each sale you do, they're using your ID anyway. So that's just one of those things you need to have every time you go on the ship.
Yes, and also it's good when you have children because you can like kind of monitor what they're spending their money on because you have to utilize that is actually your lifeline on the cruise. You don't have to have cash on the cruise. When we speak of cash, we're speaking off the cruise ship. But on the cruise ship, your ID badge is your cash. Okay. So in number 9, we have gotten a few notifications through the travel industry that there has been an issue. So do not wear camouflage. With camouflage, it's kind of trendy in the U.S. So we tend to kind of like wear it whenever at our leisure. But in other countries, it could be an issue.
Yep. When you're abroad, there are different customs in different islands and different countries that you go in. So we have to respect their authority along with their guidelines that they have. They might be a little bit more security conscious or as far as military with camouflage that we in the States look at a little bit differently. So we have to be mindful of their country, mindful of their rules, and just respect their rules so that we can have a joyous trip on our cruise.
And number 10 would be group travel. And with group traveling, sometimes we had a chance to meet some other people that were on a group when we were alone, and it was an awesome experience.
One of the things with having group travels is that you have people that you have friends, family, that you might want to share that experience with you, and y'all might have never had an opportunity to do things as a group or a family before. And on a cruise, you can do a group travel, which allows you to share that experience, have people there who have some commonalities with you, along with being able to share, if they choose to want to share the events with you, along with just having that kind of camaraderie and family atmosphere that you probably wanted to have with more than just you and your wife or you and your partner. So again, group travels are great. Now, wifey and I, we like them single, but we also like group travels too because we want to share our experience too. Because having fun, it can go both ways. So consider that as one of the options as well.
Yes. And also, when you're considering traveling, consider creating memories with Memoir Travel.
Happy traveling and cruising.
Yes. Smooches.
Bye.